You know what? You just made the list. You just made the list.
And welcome to the Old Man Wade Show. I am your host, Old Man Wade, and this is a bonus Old Man Wade podcast because in a few days we're going to have the WWE Royal Rumble.
Wait a minute. WWE?
Look, we're just making lemonade, man. I was hoping you didn't notice that.
Ain't that much weed in the world, my friend. I'm going to notice shit like that.
Weed, what are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you talking about, weed?
What? Huh? What?
What?
People like cucumbers better pickled?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
If you don't get it, Google Dave Chappelle, you'll get it. So what's going on, man? I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Same shit. Yeah, you're very welcome. I am nothing if not accommodating.
This is also true. That good old virgin booty of yours.
What was it? Look at here, Chris Hansen. I call you Chris Handsome. I like you and I want you.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The most unprofessional professional show ever. I'll actually edit that.
When we pop the trunk.
Hit the deck. All right, you know, let's get right down to it. The Royal Rumble's coming up this Sunday. There's a few things going on that I want to talk about, but chief among them, before we even get into the Royal Rumble, you cover Raw for WrestleZone.
I do.
The 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw was the previous Monday, and normally what I do is, because I don't feel like watching Raw, I just catch the highlights. And normally I can tell by the highlights how good the show was.
Figure.
And from what I noticed, the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw was garbage.
It's in my humble expert opinion that what you notified was actually was correct. The show was pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
What happened?
Well, okay. So the number one issue with them having the 25th anniversary of Raw, the Monday night before a pay-per-view, is that the point of building to a pay-per-view, you're supposed to be pushing forward storylines, getting people excited about the pay-per-view. You want to make people watch them. But if you split the venues, they ran the Barclays Center and they ran the Manhattan Center. The Manhattan Center because the first episode of Raw was actually in the Manhattan Center. So they split the crews. There was Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy were on the in the Manhattan Center with what seemed to be the 205 Live guys, and on Raw you had a few legends and you had a couple of your main players. There was maybe 4 matches the entire night.
Seriously, this is a 3-hour show.
There wasn't very many matches, and maybe only one of them really meant anything. They had like a 8-woman tag match that it push the narrative of the Women's Royal Rumble, so I guess that made sense. But I mean, the match of the night had to be the Miz and Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sure we'll probably get to that later. But to answer your question, the main problem was the fact that they were just trying to do too much. And when you do too much, you can't focus on what actually matters.
And I think we had a conversation about this. Do you think anybody would have even cared if they would have moved the 25th anniversary to the Monday Night Raw following the Rumble?
No, I mean, not at all, because it doesn't have to be on the day of. I mean, technically, is this the 25th anniversary, or is it technically the 24th?
Yeah, you got a point.
Did they count the first year? You know what I'm saying? It's like
one of those weird things.
Huh?
One of those weird things where you actually don't know where it actually started and where it ended.
Exactly. So it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference. Like your goal leading up to a pay-per-view should be that pay-per-view. This happened a few years ago, and I want to say it was with the Royal Rumble as well. They had a Hulk Hogan appreciation night because of his birthday. I don't know if it was the Royal Rumble, or it was the Royal Rumble that was about to happen, or if it was WrestleMania. But it was the week before the damn pay-per-view. And Monday Night Raw was Hulk Hogan Appreciation Night. How the fuck do you how are you furthering these storylines when the entire night is circled around somebody who's not even an active wrestler?
Well, you're using this thing called common sense. And apparently people were not happy with the Rumble at all. I'm not Rumble. People weren't happy about Monday Night Raw at all.
Yeah, there was a huge backlash online about Raw, especially for the people who actually paid for tickets to be in the Manhattan Center. If I recall, they got 3 matches, one of which was Finn. Was it? No, it was the Club versus the Revival, and the match was all of 5 minutes. I believe that's what closed the show. They got a Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt match, and they got like a 6-man 205 Live match.
Yeah, because everyone loves that 205 Live, right?
The Undertaker came out and delivered a 5-minute promo of I still don't know what the hell he was talking about. And DX came out with Scott Hall at the end of the night. So they got a couple of skits in 3.5 matches.
I tried watching that Undertaker thing. It bored me to tears.
Dude, some people paid $700 to $1,000 for those tickets.
Are you serious?
There's actually videos floating around of it online. The crowd was like ready to riot when the show was over because it's like they paid all this money for nothing.
You know, at least give them like some bonus content after and go, hey, we know the first 3 hours were kind of garbage, but hey, here's a few other matches that only you guys are going to see. We're not even going to put them out there. You know what I mean? But 3 hours, and it's just like, at what point is nostalgia not worth the money?
That's a good question. I mean, but if anything, we really can't. We can't really say because the Raw this past week was one of the highest rated Raws in recent years. So it's like, I mean, it sucked for us, but it popped the rating, and at the end of the day, I guess that's all that really matters to them, right?
Yeah, and I guess, and a buddy of mine always says, like, the Monday after a pay-per-view is usually the best Monday Night Raw of the month. So maybe they'll do it up a little bit better and make sure that the following Monday Night Raw is, like, the best of the year, which isn't hard, seeing it's only been, like, 3.
Now, that rule generally applies to the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Because that's when everything resets.
But I'll say that there's no Monday Night Raw like the Monday night after Randy Orton wins. I don't know if even Edge isn't as braggadocious and arrogant as Randy Orton is the Monday after a pay-per-view. He comes out there.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I can't even. I was like, devil's advocate. Yeah, nothing. I got nothing.
Like, that dude is insufferable. Like, I remember when I used to watch wrestling consistently. When he won, I was like, I'm not watching Raw.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you see that? No, I'm watching the NBA. I'm all set. Alright, so let's get to the Royal Rumble itself. First off, let's start with the one thing probably neither one of us really cares about. The Brock versus Kane versus Braun Strowman match.
Okay, what about it?
Should Brock win?
No.
Will he win?
Yes.
I know why this is the end. I know why you think he's going to win, so we're not even going to go there. But why should he not win?
Brock Lesnar should have dropped. Actually, they've had 2 perfect opportunities to have Brock drop the title in convincing fashion, and it would have helped get somebody else over. Brock doesn't need to be the champion to be a draw for them. I mean, that's already been proven. His title match against Samoa Joe or his title match against Braun Strowman. That them beating him for the title could have, not that they need to be made at this point because they're both, huge stars or what have you, but it would have added some legitimacy to the title and B elevated somebody else that that could potentially be a huge star for them in the future. So, it amazes me that Brock even still has the title. They seem to be obsessed with this idea of the champion being this, larger than life, boogeyman that Brock Lesnar is. But how can you consider something a world or a universal championship if we never see it? It's like it doesn't really mean anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you just turn around and create a title, like they created the European title all those years ago. Did that title ever mean anything to anyone?
Al Snow. That's pretty much about it.
I didn't mean like the wrestlers. I mean like just people. You know what I'm saying? When you just create something out of thin air that has absolutely no lineage with it. At least when they added the United States Championship, the WWE, they connected it to the lineage of the old WCW United States Championship. So it's like it's a de facto the same title. So when it carries lineage and all these famous people that have it, it means a lot more.
You know what's funny is you mentioned the European title, and I would argue that the hardcore title actually meant more than the European title did.
A lot of that has to do with the fact of the storyline that it was placed into and who it was given to. It was, they put it on. It was given to Mankind during like the feud with the corporation and Austin. Like it meant a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you bring up storylines. I thought William Regal was probably the only European champion. William Regal and maybe Kurt Angle were the only two European champions that I remember actually going, oh, I actually give a crap about this belt.
I'd like to think that the first maybe 10 champions made it seem like that title actually meant something. It was in the later years when, I hate to say this, when people like Al Snow were winning it, that it kind of just didn't have the same pizzazz.
Well, it didn't, because Al Snow pretty much made it a joke, which he did his job. It was hilarious, but it kind of made a joke of the title, and now it's just kind of like, we don't really need this anymore, do we?
Yeah. Trivia question. Do you recall who the last European champion was?
Ooh, not even a little bit. You remember?
Of course.
Who?
Rob Van Dam.
You know what? I'm not even shocked by that, like, on any level. Rob. We can have a Hall of Fame question later on. So, you're booking this. Who wins this title and how?
If I'm booking it, Braun would tear Kane in half, beat Brock Lesnar with the severed pieces of Kane, shove them up Brock Lesnar's ass, then make him submit by like a pinky lock.
Would the pinky be coming out of his mouth from like Kane's hand that he shoved up his ass, or is it like?
Come on, son. I think you know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I know. I know the answer to this question. It's obviously Kane's hand. And so was this AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which I think is stupid.
Why do you think it's stupid?
It's like they're shoehorning the both of them in this and you know what I mean, and like making it a thing.
But it is a thing.
It seems forced. Prove me wrong.
I don't have. You do realize that these two have been best friends for like almost their entire lives, and
yeah, I get that.
There's nothing forced about them two being anywhere close in each other's vicinity.
Like, not those two.
Why forced?
Not those two. Not those two together. Adding them together in a match, but it's like instead of making it a triple threat, it's Sammy and Kevin versus AJ Styles, and I'm like, it was
Yeah, you had to have been actually watching SmackDown to understand how we got to this point.
Oh, I know how we got to this point.
They're teasing the Daniel Bryan turn, and they're trying to make it seem like he's in with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Shane is being overbearing as far as trying to fire Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So Daniel Bryan is just doing everything he can to counteract what Shane is doing. And in the midst of all this stuff happening, AJ Styles gets pulled into the whole scenario. He has two matches he has a match with Kevin Owens, and I think it was Shane's fault that he lost the match. He has a match with Sami Zayn, and I think it may have been Daniel Bryan's fault that he loses the match. And AJ gets all frustrated and just makes a side comment about, well, why don't you just put me in a ring with the both of them at the same time? And Daniel Bryan's like, okay, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Okay, I do remember that. So yeah, I do remember that now.
Playing up the whole he might be a heel thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I personally, I'm interested in this match, and you're gonna laugh at me when I say this. Part of me kind of wants Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to win this.
Well, so do I.
Just solely to see what it would be like the two of them being coach. It could just lead to so much entertaining TV. I mean, I can't see how anybody would not want to see that.
I'm still tripping off of them, like the way Sami Zayn comes to the ring, like dancing, like what's his name from The Simpsons, why Nelson's all pissed off behind him. Like
Martin.
Yeah, Martin, and he's just like sitting there. Like their dynamic in general is great. So I'm not even mad at that. And I would rather see them co-champions. So considering the both of us want to see it happen, it's not going to happen, right?
Nah, there's no way that they pull the trigger on that, and I'm fine with that because I love AJ Styles, so it is what it is.
So he probably holds the title all the way up until Mania, then, right?
I'm thinking, yeah. If since there's not a Money in the Bank briefcase walking around, I'm pretty sure he's going to hold on to it.
Who won the last one?
Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah, Baron Corbin.
Mm-hmm. Baron Schnorbin.
Yeah, so you got AJ Lee. Wow, AJ Styles winning the world title, and you got Brock retaining.
Huh?
So you got Brock retaining and AJ Styles retaining.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance we get anything else other than that?
Kane is not walking out the Universal Champion. So that's out.
How would you feel if that happened?
I'd be okay with it.
Like he should win it. I feel like he should win it Sunday and then lose to Braun on Monday.
Yeah, it'd be like the last time he won the WWE title.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not going to put the title on fucking Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If it was just Kevin Owens, more likely than it being Sami Zayn, because based on everything that I know, it seems like Vince has something against Sami, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so the only thing, Braun could totally win. I just don't see them doing it. Because if they were going to do it, I feel like they would have done it already.
Yeah, but you know this goes back to your point about them missing the boat on Roman Reigns when Roman was over. They waited too long and then put the title on him when no one really gave a crap about him. Mm-hmm. But they're gonna fuck around and whoever's in charge is gonna catch some hands.
Yeah, I'm mad that became a shirt, but freaking I'm not finished with you yet, didn't. What the hell is that?
I don't know, but that statement, "I'm not finished with you yet," is very Me Too-ish. Mm-hmm. It's very, very, very wrong. But I love it. I would have bought one. So the women's Royal Rumble.
Yep.
If for those of you who don't know, the WWE women are finally getting their own Royal Rumble. Me and Lovell have lamented about this for a couple of years now, I think.
Yep.
So it's finally happening. It's not going to be one of those stupid things where all 30 participants are already in the ring. They're going to have a legit Royal Rumble, which is amazing. Do they have 30 people on the roster, or are they going to have to bring in some of the people from the Mae Young Challenge?
They don't have 30 people on the main roster. There'll be some legends, and there'll be a couple people from NXT in the Women's Rumble.
They can get any Tony Storms or Mercedes Martinez's or anything like that?
Yeah. Mercedes is a possibility, but I'm not sure about Tony because I think she's currently wrestling in Germany as we're talking. But that's neither here nor there. It'd be nice to see some of the girls from the Mae Young Classic who haven't actually been signed to the WWE yet show up, but I don't think it's likely. One of the girls actually signed in the Performance Center that they could use just to fill spots if need be.
You had a brilliant idea for introducing, I can't remember her name from the UFC.
Ronda Rousey?
Ronda Rousey. You had a brilliant idea for introducing her in the Rumble. You want to speak on that?
Yeah, I just think it would be interesting for I've always been a huge Paul Heyman fan, and Paul Heyman used to have the Dangerous Alliance, and I like the idea of there being stables. So I just think I thought it would be cool if it's time for the 26th woman to come out in the Rumble. Buzzer sounds, nobody comes out. All of a sudden, Paul Heyman's chunky ass waddles out onto the stage and introduces us to his new client, Ronda Rousey, and it just goes from there. But because I don't know that Ronda's going to be a great talker when it comes to cutting wrestling promos. Don't know that that's going to be the case. So not knowing that, it would just be a smart idea to stick her with someone, and who better than Heyman to shepherd her along.
Makes sense. If you had to pick 3 people from the Women's Rumble, who you got to win it?
For the women's, Asuka, and Oscar.
Because she spits hot fire?
No, Oscar's definitely my first pick. I hate to say this. Second pick is Nikki Bella. Third pick, and this may be a dark horse, but I'm going Nia Jax.
Oh, wow, good pick. Obviously, I had Oscar if I had to pick one. You're going to laugh. I have two that have no chance in hell. Naomi and Becky Lynch.
It would be interesting to finally see Becky do something. It's like they gave her she was the first SmackDown Women's Champion, but the minute she lost that belt, she became what my as my dad would say, a whipping boy. It's like she just gets the shit kicked out of her, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't get that. And she's one of the you say like top the best 5 on the main roster, you'd think?
Yeah, definitely. At one point, out of the 4 Horsewomen, she was probably the best one out of all of them.
Yeah. Do you think it's funny because we talk about people who are like at the top, and you have someone like we're not even talking about Bayley having a chance in hell of winning the Royal Rumble because she's dropped so many levels from when she was to where she's at now, which is a shame because I don't think she's gotten worse. I think she's just kind of like almost like plateaued. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I also don't think they're using her properly. You have anything on that?
Yeah, they mishandled the Bayley thing. This basically boiled down to a case of hubris. They're so caught up smelling their own shit that they think everybody who watches wrestling watches NXT, and they thought that if they just push Bayley out there and said, "Oh, she's Sasha Banks' best friend and she's awesome, she's from NXT," people would give a shit. The only problem is that's not how life works, and that's not how my bank account's set up. Sometimes on Sundays you gotta slide the card to the left, and then you gotta tap it a few times to get it to work. So what happened was when they just threw her out there like that, 70% of the audience didn't know who the fuck she was or why did she care about her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So they missed the boat on how she became popular in NXT to begin with. She was the classic lovable loser. She's this I don't want to use the word slow, but she's this sort of underdeveloped
child. Child.
Yeah, wrestling superfan who, the NXT crowd got to see her progress. They got to see her grow into the competitor that she is, today. So the NXT crowd was invested, and that's one of the problems and one of the things that I worry about anytime someone from NXT gets called up to the main roster. The crowd in NXT it's very tight knit. Like 9 times out of 10, when you watch an NXT TV, you'll see the same people sitting in the front crowd. You can start picking out faces, so it's very familial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like that when you're in the fucking 50,000 seat arena. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So what's the difference? For example, so Bayley's appeal was watching her grow.
Yep. It was like Daniel Bryan. Think of it that way.
Perfect analogy. But you get someone like Asuka who just came in and dominated because she was dominant.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? You think they just
Asuka has more presence than Bayley does. She's foreign. She looks exotic. Her interest is elaborate. She gets in the ring and she beats the shit out of people. She waves her hands and is inflatable tube man. She goes in the ring, gets the shit kicked out of her, and then she wins. Like it's not as appealing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it was when I started watching her, I always feel like she was built up wrong. Like I feel like they should have been building her up like they built up like Jericho. Like Jericho lost a lot, but we got to see him grow. So when he became world champion, even though he was a heel, we loved it. You know what I mean? It was kind of like they just threw the spotlight on her like way too quick.
Mm-hmm. She won the women's title way too early.
Yeah. When she won at that WrestleMania, right?
No.
She lost that?
She won it before WrestleMania.
No, I mean, but she did win at WrestleMania.
She retained at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so I always felt that that was the perfect spot for her to win. If she didn't have the belt then and then won the title at WrestleMania, that would have been the perfect place for her to become Bayley, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going Asuka because she spits hot fire.
Mm-hmm.
For shits and giggles, I'm gonna go Becky Lynch. All right. So the reason I didn't ask this question was the question about Brock Lesnar was, who do you think is gonna win the Men's Royal Rumble?
This year is one of the toughest years to call it because they haven't built up anyone.
Just say Roman Reigns so we can move on.
There's a 99.99999% chance that Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble again. That said, a way around that, if you're still trying to, if their goal is to still get Roman Reigns and Lesnar in the ring at the same time for the title, if that's their goal, I kind of think someone from SmackDown is going to win the Royal Rumble because they can yada yada how Roman Reigns gets a title shot against Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But on SmackDown, if you have someone new in it, number one, the Lesnar Reigns match is the main event, so it doesn't matter what the other title match is. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just another match on the card. My dream scenario would be to have Nakamura win it and for him to fight Styles at WrestleMania. I don't care who wins it, but them two, they just match up very well. What's most likely to happen, if it's somebody from SmackDown, it's probably going to be Baron Corbin. There's also the dark horse John Cena looming over this as well.
Jesus Christ, I forgot about him.
Yeah. And you got to remember, he's a free agent. So he's not on Raw or SmackDown. So the lead up to this whole, oh my God, John Cena's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Do you just Rain Man the who's going to win the Royal Rumble?
Yes, I did.
Wait, is he tied for Austin for most wins?
No, he's only won twice.
Austin's got 3?
Okay. Austin won the first time, throwing out Brett. He didn't fight at WrestleMania though. He won that one 4 times.
Okay, because I was gonna say the whole thing is for John Cena to tie fucking Stone Cold because they can't have any John Cena has to hold all the titles, all the records.
Oh no, they wouldn't be worried about that. They want him to beat that Ric Flair 17 title reign thing. They're tied right now. So if Cena wins another world title, he'll have the more titles, quote unquote, than Flair. But the reason why I was saying that I think I just booked the John Cena winning the Royal Rumble is because the duality of the fact that he's technically on both Raw and SmackDown, that's the lead up. You know what I'm saying? He can simultaneously have programs with whoever the champion is on Raw and whoever the champion is on SmackDown, leading up to him making a decision on who he's going to face.
Oh my God, what if he faces them both and beats them both at the same time?
Oh God, would that count as 2 title wins at once?
Yes, it would.
Oh God.
You sound like Brad Pitt. What's in the ring? So, you ready for my dark horse?
Go for it.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty popular theory.
Like, how perfect would it be if he came in at 30 and won?
That'd be great.
I would love to see AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. And despite what people may think, they could steal the show.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, like I've been thinking about this for a while now. I really think my pick is going to be Dolph Ziggler. I think the whole thing with him like eating shit for so long and then winning the title and then basically going, fuck you guys, I'm too good for this thing. The whole speech he gave, which was beautiful, by the way. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just him playing up to it for them to have him win at the Royal Rumble. Like, we're due for a surprise, aren't we?
I mean, theoretically, last year's Royal Rumble winner was a surprise. Even though I knew it was going to happen.
Who was last year again?
Randy Orton.
Oh, God. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
God.
Called that shit.
Huh?
Did I call that shit?
I don't remember his match at WrestleMania. Who did he fight?
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, yeah, no wonder I didn't remember it.
I remember they had the pictographs in the ring.
That was the
projecting.
dumbest shit ever.
It's like, what is this even? They did all that just for him to lose.
And here we have, it's like, you know what it was like a 8th grade slideshow?
He can spell.
Yeah. The roach goes.
Could you imagine being one of the commentators, and have to sit in the ring and think of something to say for that? Like, oh my, and they have to act like it's like the craziest thing they've ever seen. Oh my, what is that? How does Bray Wyatt have this power?
My favorite commentating thing is, I'm not sure if it's Michael Cole or JR who says it. Randy Orton's going to that crazy that place. I'm like, oh, like shut up.
Michael Cole.
Like, shut the. I was trying to keep this PG, but shut the fuck up. He's going to that place. Eat a dick, dude.
Picture Randy Orton and then stroking it.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, Randy Orton's getting to that place.
God, that is so fucking bad. Mm-hmm. Oh man. So yeah, I was gonna talk about the tag team match, but I don't think either one of us gives a shit.
Nope, not particularly.
It will be fun, but you know, at the end of the day, no one really gives a shit. Is that pretty much all we're getting?
Well, there's 2 tag team title matches, I think. I believe Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins are defending against Cesaro and Sheamus, and the Usos are defending against Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable in a 2 out of 3 falls match. That's probably going to be the best match of the night.
Probably, I would assume so, considering like all the participants in that match. I also, can we consider the Women's Battle Royal a match, or is that more of a?
Yeah, I mean, it's a match.
I kind of think they're going to steal the show, and I feel bad for anyone who has to go in after them.
Based on what?
I think they're hungry enough to try to win this. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. They're probably going to open. They're probably going to open tonight. That'll probably
Gotta have to.
Yeah, then I figure like the Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin versus Usos match will probably be the one that goes after, which would be a great thing to do. Then they'll have the Brock match should probably go last before the AJ Styles one, right? Which is stupid, because why would you want to, the entertaining match before the... Oh, yeah, because people got to get up to go to the bathroom and go pee. So the Brock match would be the one to go after.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Braun Strowman could win the Rumble, too.
That's the thing. It's weird, because most years, if you're in the title match, you're not in the Rumble. But then, like last year, Reigns was in the title match, and he was in the Rumble. Like they throw curveballs all the time, so it's not like there's a steadfast rule. But I always lean to the side of caution, and I don't think Braun's actually going to be in the Rumble. And I think one of the reasons why he's in the title match is so that's an excuse for him to not be in the Rumble. Because if he's in the Rumble, everybody is going to expect him to win it.
Well, if Ziggler doesn't come out at 30, then my money is on Braun Strowman coming out at 30, and then it's like eliminating everybody. Which would be funny if Brock Lesnar then comes out and then eliminates him because he's like, fuck that noise. I'm not fighting him again.
There's also rumblings about if the Vegas odds for the men's Royal Rumble winner are on Daniel Bryan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it, but would they really do that?
Conventional wisdom would say no. But how dope would that be?
If Daniel Bryan won the Royal Rumble, I would probably literally come, piss, and shit on myself all at once. And it's not even like I'm a giant like Daniel, huh?
That I'm gonna come, piss, and shit all over myself again.
Yeah, again. It's not even like I'm a giant. I'm a Daniel Bryan fan, but I'm not like a giant Daniel Bryan fan. But for him to win, it would just be that important.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. This is going to need to be a long episode. I appreciate you coming on. Oh, one more thing I got to say I thought was hilarious. Jericho wearing his Alpha versus Omega shirt on Raw.
Yeah, that was great. The thing of it is people never catch on to that shit. Like, I remember Edge and Christian would come back every once in a while. I think one time Edge had on like a an El Generico T-shirt.
Yeah.
Because I seriously doubt that they're really paying attention to what people are wearing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that shit cracked me up. On the El Generico T-shirt and freaking Jericho had on this Alpha and Omega. It was great. That was actually one of the bright spots of.
Oh, it was great.
The 25, the Raw 25. Seeing Jericho was great, and seeing MVP was good. Even though they didn't really give MVP much to do, he was kind of there. They didn't even. I feel like they didn't even really acknowledge that he was there. I think Booker T had said something about mention his name.
Yeah, it's MVP.
It was weird.
I did appreciate the poker match thing. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't $700 to $1,000 worth, but it was
Well, no, that happened at the Barclays Center. So they got to watch that on the big screen like we did. The folks in the Manhattan Center.
You know what? Everybody who bought tickets to the Manhattan Center should be given free tickets to the XFL. Like with a letter of naked Vince McMahon on a bearskin rug saying, "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry.
Damn it! I said
I'm sorry.
Jinx. Hey, you want to speak on the XFL real quick?
I don't really have much to say. Well, I will say that as I was sitting at work, not doing any work, I watched the press conference. I watched the press conference, and I'm actually a little excited about it.
Really?
I didn't really have any feelings about it either way. But hearing Vince talk about it, and it seemed like he's learned from the mistakes from the last time around. He's focusing. He said he's not going to be the face of it. He's stepping back. He's going to hire the best. He's going to hire the best people. He's going to hire football people to run it. Like, he's not trying to be out in front of it. He's going to be totally behind the scenes. He doesn't want to affect anything. And they're like crowdsourcing to figure out what the fans actually want out of the league, what kind of rules they want. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's kind of dope that it's going to be somewhat interactive. Like, if they have like a thing where you can submit things and you say, hey, I want there to be no fair catch or what have you, and then when the XFL comes out and there's no fair catch, like the average person will be like, oh shit, they read my thing and that's the reason why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's dope that they're making a concerted effort to ask the fans what they want.
You know the best thing about Vince McMahon? About the XFL coming back? They get to save all the money they spent on merchandise because it's still locked somewhere in a warehouse on the shit they didn't sell. But you know what? The more I think about it, I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I think that where they failed before, maybe they'll succeed this time around.
I mean, I hope. It'd be interesting to. It'd be interesting to see how the NFL will react if they have some actual competition, which is something they haven't had since the USFL all those years ago. I mean, you can't really. I don't count the Canadian Football League and arena football as competitors to the NFL. So
no, there's no real. There's no real competition there. Shout out to Fabulous.
There is no competition.
Huh?
There is no competition.
Yeah, all right. But, we can end this now. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Deuces.
You know what I want to hear, man?
Damn it, Wade.
Damn it, Wade.